Daily Reading. A reading from the Acts of the Apostles. In those days, a Pharisee named Gamaliel stood up in the council. He was a teacher of the law, respected by all the people. He ordered that the men be taken outside for a short time. Then he said, "Men of Israel, be careful about what you are about to do to these men. Some time ago, a man named Theudas appeared. He claimed to be somebody important, and about 400 men followed him, but he was killed, and all his followers were scattered, and nothing came of it. After him, during the time of the census, Judas the Galilean appeared. He drew people after him, but he also died, and all his followers were dispersed. So now I tell you, leave these men alone. Let them go. If this plan or this work is of human origin, it will fail. But if it is from God, you will not be able to stop them. You might even find yourselves fighting against God." So they accepted his advice. They called the apostles, had them beaten, and ordered them not to speak in the name of Jesus, and then they released them. The apostles left the council rejoicing, because they had been found worthy to suffer dishonor for the name of Jesus. And every day, in the temple and from house to house, they never stopped teaching and proclaiming the good news of Jesus Christ. The word of the Lord. Gospel of the Day. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. At that time, Jesus went across the Sea of Galilee, also called the Sea of Tiberias. A large crowd followed him because they saw the signs he was doing for the sick. Jesus went up the mountain and sat down there with his disciples. The Jewish feast of Passover was near. When Jesus looked up and saw a large crowd coming toward him, he said to Philip, "Where can we buy enough bread for all these people to eat?" He said this to test him, because he already knew what he was going to do. Philip answered, 200 days' wages would not be enough to give each of them even a small piece of bread. One of his disciples, Andrew, the brother of Simon Peter, said, "There is a boy here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. But what is that for so many people?" Jesus said, "Have the people sit down." There was a lot of grass in that place, so they all sat down, about 5,000 men. Then Jesus took the bread, gave thanks, and distributed it to those who were seated, as much as they wanted. He did the same with the fish. When they had all eaten and were satisfied, he said to his disciples, "Gather the pieces left over, so that nothing is wasted." So they gathered them up and filled 12 baskets with the leftover pieces from the 5 barley loaves. When the people saw the sign Jesus had done, they said, "This is truly the prophet who is to come into the world." But Jesus knew they were about to come and take him by force to make him king, so he withdrew again to the mountain by himself. The Gospel of the Lord. Words of the Pope. Now let us try to place ourselves in the position of that boy. The disciples ask him to share everything he has to eat. It seems unreasonable, almost unfair. Why take from someone, especially a child, what he brought for himself? Why take something that is not enough for everyone? From a human point of view, it does not make sense. But with God, it is different. Through that small and generous gift, Jesus is able to feed everyone. This teaches us something important. The Lord can do great things with the little we offer him. It would be good to ask ourselves every day, what am I bringing to Jesus today? He can do so much with a simple prayer, with a small act of kindness, even with our weaknesses when we place them in his mercy. We give our little to Jesus, and he does the miracle. That is how God works. He does great things, starting from what is small, simple, and given freely. Pope Francis, Angelus, July 25, 2021.